Hello, everyone. I'm Jackie. Welcome to Spirit World Insights. I hope that you are doing well. If this is your first time watching the video and you have no clue who I am, then I would invite you to check out my website at clearvibration.com to find out who I am. But I'm basically a spiritual medium and I channel through this specific playlist, Archangel Metatron. Okay, those of you that have been watching, welcome back. All right, so today we are in our first week of November 2023 already. And we have, if you've watched the past videos, we've kind of gotten to the point where we made it through the double eclipses. We had the solar and the lunar eclipses, which brought about a whole lot of what I would call unwanted emotions that were coming up. And if that happened to be a part of what you were dealing with as well, then now that the eclipses are over, we still have like a 2-week integration period of processing the energy that transpired during that time. And there's a woman named Elizabeth Peru that I do get emails from, and because I'm not savvy, let's use that word, with the astrology part, I usually end up keeping up with other people that are savvy with that kind of thing. And I want to share, because she's so right on as far as like the stuff that I happen to be going through. And Metatron was telling me as I was preparing for this, he was like, mention some of the things that she's mentioned because of the fact that it's resonating with a lot of people right now. She mentioned something called the assimilation process, and that's the phase that we're in right now is the assimilation phase, which if you're assimilating something, you're putting it into order. You're putting it into the perspective that it needs to be in order to allow it to be set up for production, is what is the interpretation that Archangel Metatron is giving me right now. He goes, we want to assimilate the information that has been brought up through the process of those eclipses, so that you'll be able to integrate that information as the timing is correct for the movement of the things that you are meant to do next. So he is mentioning about being very slow and very steady in that process, because when you have a lot of information come up and you start making changes based off of the emotions that you're feeling, the awareness that comes up, maybe your guides and angels are downloading information, and so you're getting a lot of aha moments and you're actually feeling like you can start making changes. He says, go slow and steady in the next couple weeks, because when you're slow and steady, you're continuing to be aware and you're going to make better choices for yourself when you're not moving haphazardly or quickly and randomly through your life. He said that the slow and the steady is going to keep you from backtracking. Because, and she mentioned that too, I can't remember how she put it, but he's reminding me about that. He's like, okay, he's almost saying backsliding. He's like, you don't want to backslide, yeah, thank you, into your old patterns, because then you'll almost be like back where you started. And the thing is, I mean, this whole process of the ascension is to pull up the shadow stuff that we've stored, neglected, numbed, whatever. We bring it into the light, we process it back to love, and we move forward into better versions of ourselves. And he's like, if you don't move slow and steady right now, all that stuff that you just pulled up and processed, will backslide. So yeah, okay, that's his message about all of the eclipse stuff. So we got a couple more weeks of that, slow and steady. Be very gentle, very kind. Be very kind, because that's the other thing he's reminding me. Those emotions that came up during those two eclipses, there was so much anger and so much resentment. You know, all of those things that made the heart chakra feel incredibly tense. Okay, incredibly tense. Yeah, and okay, so now he's leading into, and so what happened was it turned a lot of our fight or flight responses on, which sends the central nervous system into again, I'm getting like a haphazard, like a off on. It's inconsistent is what he's telling me. So true. Okay, so he wants me to remind you how to turn your fight or flight off. Because again, with all those emotions we went through during the eclipse, and now we're coming into, let's assimilate this new emotional stance. So take it slow and steady. And in that slow and steady, you want to turn your fight or flight off. This is how he taught me how to do that. You're just going to say to yourself, I am not in fight or flight unless I am in danger. I am not currently in danger, therefore I am not in fight or flight. And then take a deep breath. Okay. When you do that, you are talking to your central nervous system, and your body will respond to what you're asking it to do, as long as you are doing it with the authentic intention of your heart. And he says what that will do was it will go into the heart, and it will calm the central nervous system so that you can make healthier choices. He's taking me back to slow and steady again. He goes, it helps you to be slow and steady when you turn off your fight or flight. You guys, don't hesitate to do this. Don't feel bad that you have to do this. Don't judge yourself or beat yourself up that you're having to turn your fight or flight off. Honestly, I do it every single morning. And if there is a time during the day that I feel like it's kicked back in again, then I'll do it again. Because the thing is our body is responding to the environment around us. And, you know, honestly, depending on where you are and what you're doing, the environment around you might not be so great. So this is the best thing that you can do to help yourself. And then just like on the airplane, you put the mask on you before you put it on somebody else. If you're taking yourself out of fight or flight and you're able to be slow and steady, calm and authentic awareness, he's just like flooding me with all these words. It's like when you're able to do this, then you're able to help those people around you in a more authentic and helpful way. It's so true. Okay, so when we calm, we take ourselves out of that fight or flight. We bring ourselves into this. He's saying now what happens is we go into that heart chakra and we start asking our own body, where was it tense? He wants you to ask yourself, did you feel tension in your forehead? Okay, and this is where you become aware. And yeah, I mean, he's like, you're going to take a few moments. You know, this is great to do. He goes, it can be done in just a few minutes. He goes, but it can change your entire outlook of your day, is what he's saying. So check your forehead. Are you, crinkling up and holding tension up here, like in the eyebrows? Okay. And then next he's asking, are you clenching your jaw? Do you like have the upper and bottom jaws linked together? And you're not going to realize this stuff. When I was teaching yoga, it was amazing how many people I would walk around the room and watch people as they're holding their poses. And I'm like, stop, don't do this and don't do that. if you're wanting to relax into the pose. And so check your jaw. Are you clenching it? Then he's moving into the shoulders. Do you feel tight up here in the trapezius muscles, which are right here coming down out of the neck across the top of the shoulders? Okay, and then what else? Okay, he says your hands, sometimes you don't realize that you're actually making a fist, or that your hands are active instead of relaxed. He says, and then check your gut. He says, does your gut feel like it's like this, or even being turned? He goes, those are really good signs just by doing a mental body. Okay, thank you. He says it's a mental body scan, and you're just scanning those areas of your body, and maybe you feel it in more, but these are just the ones that he's bringing up right now. And if you are tightening them, he says, then direct that intention of what I just said to you, and I'll say it one more time. You're going to say that, and you're going to direct that intention to those places in the body with love. He says, bring it in with love, and that part of the body will respond as well as your whole central nervous system. Okay? So again, if you didn't have a pen and paper, I am not in fight or flight unless I'm in danger. I am not currently in danger, therefore I am not in fight or flight. And so again, if you're feeling it in specific parts of your body, then just direct it with love into those parts of the body. Take a nice deep breath. Just remember too that when you're tight and tense, it's real common that you're going to want to breathe in through your mouth, he says, because you're trying to and then calm it down. And the other thing too is that out breath is where that energy comes out. You're breathing in the love and light, and when you breathe out, you're pushing out what is leaving the body, what no longer serves you. At some point, once you calm down, take a deep breath in through the nose, because the nose is meant for breathing, the mouth is meant for eating. So when you breathe in through the nose, all those little hairs in there are filtering the oxygen that's coming in. And there's even, oh God, what is an oxy something? There's something that's produced up here in the top part of the nasal cavity that also adds to the oxygen as it's coming in, and the air is warmed before it gets to your lungs. When you breathe in through your mouth, none of that happens. So utilize breathing in through the nose and sending that fresh, warm oxygen into the lungs, and then just let yourself have a big sigh out through the mouth. Just because when you take the time and now he's going slow and steady. Voila. Okay, now he wants me to pull a card. Those are good messages, Metatron. Okay, I only brought one deck with me as I'm traveling right now. I've got the Oracle 7 from Colette Baron-Reid. So let's see what he has to say. All right, Metatron, what message do you have for those watching? Whenever you watch this, guys, doesn't matter when you watch it. You'll watch it when the time is right for you. If I make this video and you don't watch it for 3 days later, 3 weeks later, 3 months later, 3 years later, it doesn't matter. The message will be made, meant for you when you actually see it. That's how it works. It's a great process. 3, 2, 1. Okay. He was counting me down on the shuffling. Metatron, what do you have to tell everybody today, right now? Ooh, endless possibilities. All right, Metatron, what do you have to say about this card? Mm. He says endless possibilities are coming into you. They're coming into the crown chakra and reminding you of who you are and why you're here, the contracts that you made, the experiences that you chose to learn from. They activate into the pineal gland, into the third eye. Memories, awakening, all coming in through the crown chakra and reminding you that you have endless possibilities once you awaken to all of this. He says, before you awaken and allow your higher chakras to pull in these memories that we agreed to forget, okay? It's not as clear. Like these are the downloads. This is the download of information that's coming in from your higher self. It's coming in from your own angels and guides, and it comes down into these higher chakras. And as it assimilates, here now we're pulling in Elizabeth Peru's word again, assimilation process, it assimilates in and it begins to integrate into that dormant DNA, he says, wakes up and it begins to assimilate the information. And then he's talking to me about the heart, which it's almost like you can see right here at her heart chakra. They've got, I'm not sure what that is. Almost looks like a heart. But anyway, it goes down into here and then it begins to expand and spread out through the entire body. So that dormant DNA wakes up and it starts to talk to the cells. Everything, the body talks to the body. And that's why it's so important. What is your mind telling your heart? And if it's not in alignment, then get the heart and the mind, get these two things in sync. And if you can't, then think from here. Because that ego will tell you that none of that exists, or that you can't rely on any of that downloaded stuff, all of that stuff from your higher self and your guides. The ego doubts it because the ego is going off of the information that you've gotten from the past, which isn't necessarily true. It could be filled with programs and false beliefs and things that don't matter. Things that are completely out of alignment with who you are and what's in your highest good. Yeah. This is right in alignment with everything that we're talking about. We've had a lot of stuff coming in during those eclipses. And now we're trying to process and get that down into here, because it comes in from these places that we don't remember. But the thing is we've got to integrate it into this vessel, because this vessel is what's boots on the ground here to do the work. And I don't know if you guys are like me, the boots on the ground vessel that's here to do the work is exhausted. It's, I don't want to make serious. I say this right, not to sound negative. It's been rough. I don't know about you guys, but it's been rough. Not in a bad way. I'm just saying, it's been bad, but it's like, thank you. He says challenging. He says the vessel is being really challenged because we're being asked to step outside our default systems. And when you're being asked to step outside your default systems, you have to trust this information that's coming in. And that's hard to do when you don't have necessarily the validation. You don't have that 3D validation that you can trust it. So this is a whole new ball game, but this vessel is what's going to ultimately end up making the impact on the planet with other people. It has to be involved. This is a co-creation. That means that both parties are creating together. And when you are trying in the vessel to do it without all of that, there's more suffering. There's more resistance. There's less ease and flow. So when you let all of this higher knowledge, all of that higher consciousness come down and into the vessel, right? Then what happens is hopefully you begin to feel more confident, more clarity mentally, and then emotionally you start to feel capable, he says, of continuing forward. He keeps saying slow and steady, slow and steady. Hang on one sec. He says, if you want to be prepared for the things to come, then slow and steady is where you will be prepped for that. He goes, your preparation for what is to come in your future is more acknowledged when you're in a slow and steady perception. I hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay. Okay, he wants me to, okay, so those of you that are following my Awakened Healer Within videos, I've been talking a lot about the, getting ready to talk to you about the joints. Because the joints, the 12 major joints in our body carry a lot of emotions, a lot of memories. And what he wants me to do is actually tell you what that is. And then next week, I'm hoping that's when he'll want to actually go into some techniques on how to help those joints. But he does want me to go ahead and tell you what they are. He goes, and this is in alignment with why people are, okay, thank you. Yeah, he says this is why people are tense. Okay, what? Oh, it's related. Okay, thank you. He says it's related to why people are tense in those parts of the body that we were talking about earlier. It has to do with that. Okay. So the shoulders have to do, well, everything in the arms. So the 12 major joints, I'll start with that. The 12 major joints are the shoulders, the elbows, the wrist, the hips, the knees, and the ankles. The arms have to do with burdens that we carry. Okay, burdens that we carry. The shoulders have to do with the burdens that you carry that you choose. They're yours. You choose. Even if it's someone else's burden, but you choose to take it on as yours. These are the ones you choose, burdens you choose. And these are emotions that store as energy in these parts of the body. Elbows have to do with other people's burdens that you happen to be picking up on, okay? The wrist have to do with how the burdens of yours and others are impacted into the reality of your life, okay? So this actually impacts your environment around you. Okay, the hips have to do with support. Do you support yourself? Do you believe in what you're capable of? The knees have to do with, are you supported by other people? Do you feel supported by other people? And then the ankles have to do with, how does it impact your life? How does it impact your reality? All right, here's the other thing. The body, left and right hemispheres of the body, the left side is feminine, the right side is masculine. That's in every single human being. Energy of both run through. I talked about this in my last video. The energy of the feminine is on the left, masculine is on the right. They run up the Sushumna, just like the spine, and they cross at the chakras and go out. They cross, they go all the way up, out your head, and circle back around like a torus, and come back in. That's how energy's flowing, okay? And so if you've got a left shoulder issue, then are you carrying a burden in the feminine side? Now keep in mind that the feminine doesn't mean that it has to be a female energy that's causing you to carry this burden. It also could be the feminine energy of yin, sensitivity, submission. It could be all of those yin feminine aspects that you're thinking about. And like if you've got burdens of women in your family, then you're going to feel it here. On the right side, the masculine. Do you have either male energy in your family that's causing an issue, okay? Or is it just the masculine form, a very yang, dominant, fast-moving energy that's causing the issues on the right side of the body? So again, you're thinking the left is feminine and the right is masculine. So why could that be affecting you? And we're going to go deeper into this in the Awakened Healer Within series, okay? But that's what he's saying. If you want to know, like, why are you tight and tense in certain areas on certain sides of your body, it could have something to do with that. So just watch, be aware that I am going to be talking more deeply into that topic coming up soon. Okay, let's see, what else, Metatron? Okay, so he says those are the messages that he wanted to bring through today. Now, as far as me, I just want to just remind you, if you know anyone else that would like the information that's in this video, I hope that you will share it and pass the link on to them. If it was helpful to you, please give it one of those, because it definitely keeps the video running more through the YT algorithms. And if you haven't subscribed, then if you do that, you'll be notified if you click that bell on when these are updated. So I do the videos 3 times a week, 3 major playlists going on right now. Baba's Essence is Escape Moments. It's where you do meditation with photographs. I highly encourage you guys to check it out if you haven't done it yet. It's so cool. Looking at those every week is a different photograph, and the messages and the insight and the healing from Baba that comes in and affects the heart chakra just open and wake. I just feel mine just go every time. And it's just really neat and unique, the messages that come through these photographs. So I hope you will check that out. And I did extend the length time of how long the photograph is up there per someone's request. The other, I already talked about Awakened Healer Within. Those of you that live in or near Dallas, Texas, I am going to be doing an event on November 18th in the Colleyville area. It's going to be an event called Yin Yang Nidra Bliss. It's where I teach mostly yin, but there is yang movement to get the energy moving. But it's where we use poses to awaken some of the emotions that we've been holding on to. We use the breath to bring the healing vibrations in. And then we use Nidra, which is guided meditation, to actually help process those emotions back to love. So the event is called Letting Go. And you can sign up for that on my website if you would like to. It's in person, so if you happen to live or travel to that area around November 18th, you can sign up. I'd love to meet you and be able to offer my services. It's one of my favorite events. I do them. I've been doing them every year since 2014, and I love it. If you own a yoga studio and you want to do the event at your studio, send me an email. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, all the videos that I have been typically selling on my website are on sale right now for $11 each. So there is Interpreting Your Dreams. If you want to learn more about how to interpret your dreams, that one's on there. The Bone Breathing with Thich Nhat Hanh is on there. And also learning how to interpret the language of sensation. That one's very detailed, very helpful if you're trying to understand how to interpret the sensations in your own body. Okay, so those are 3 that I can think of right now that are on my website that you can, when you go online and you buy the video, then I send you the link. It's a private link that you have to use, and you can watch it anytime you want, however often you want, but you'll have that private link to it. Let me see if there's anything else I put in my notes that I wanted to remember to tell you. Videos. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Thanks for watching, you guys. Lots of love as we continue to assimilate for the next 2 weeks. All right, until next time, take care. Thanks, Archangel Metatron. So he's sending his love to everybody too. Pushing it out. Soak it up. All right, bye.